everyone, today we are starting in a weird place at a super awkward angle, so if you watch my channel a lot, then you know that means I'm going to do like a take you around kind of sort of video. So what I'm doing today is actually going to be my makeup collection and inventory for 2017. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my makeup collection, where it sits, how I store it all, what all I have. It's quite extensive. And then I actually went through my whole collection and counted the number of each product that I have, and I'm going to tell you about it. So I think it's really exciting. I love these kind of videos. Hopefully you do too. Obviously, if you are the kind of person that is offended by makeup collections, I know some people, for whatever reason, don't like them. Sorry, you don't have to watch it. If you want to see some empties where I actually do use up stuff, I'll link that playlist down below, because trust me, I make one every month. I use up a lot of my stuff. I love makeup. It makes me happy, blah, blah, whatever. Typical disclaimer, not really sorry. So, all that to say, let's go ahead and look at my collection. So, here we are. This is my office. This is where all of my science magic happens. You can see there's a lot of science textbooks down there. That's where Hippocampus sits. There you go. And Kanga when she wants to. But this is where I do my makeup every day. So I sit on this ottoman. That right there is actually the makeup I have on right now. At the beginning of this video, I'll go ahead and link that down below as I always do. But I kind of set it aside right there so I make sure I know what I have used. I have this new bar stool that I actually got from my dad for Christmas. He made that. It's super cool. It's got the Florida crest on the front and my laptop, so it kind of sits there so you can see. I'll come sit down. When I'm doing my makeup, it's kind of the perfect height because I like to have like white noise or whatever in the background. So I do have this container right here. It came from TJ Maxx. I believe my mom just got it for me for Christmas. And what I've actually done is made this my monthly makeup bag. So if you've watched that video, which if not, I'll go ahead and link it below. But this is where all my monthly makeup bag is contained in. And my 17 by 17, which I'll also, like I said, link that video down below. Also, just before I get super redundant, I have done a lot of product reviews, and I will go ahead and just link that whole entire playlist. I'll mention it if I think about it, but if you want to see me review something, then go ahead and check there. And if you see something that you want me to review that I haven't reviewed, go ahead and ask me, and I would be happy to do it. So then I have a bunch of brushes in the back. That's actually in a Vera Bradley pencil holder that I got. Is my face brushes, and then the front, that's just an Lauder and Jasmine mug. Those are my eye brushes, and you can see I've got a couple of beauty blenders stacked over to the side. So that's just where I keep all my brushes and stuff. And then this slight bit of clutter in the very front here is actually my newest product. So whenever I get, with a monthly makeup bag, I get to have these products I pick up at the beginning of the month, and then my newest products, my Ipsy and Birchbox, little sneak peek down there, will be included in this as well. They just get to sit on top of my makeup to make sure that I'm actually using those as well. And then this doesn't usually live here, but this is my tally. So you can see I have black is 2015, purple is 17, and pink is 2018. So I have all of that right here. So again, this is my makeup bag, so if you want to see that, I'll link it below. I have this little drawer, jewelry box kind of thing. It's old. It's got an antebellum couple on the front. I got it at an antique show, and then I just keep Q-tips and cotton balls. So it's not very exciting, but it's really pretty, and obviously I keep coasters in my drink on top of it as well. So that's just that. So let's get into this for sure. This little 3 set right here is actually I believe I actually made a makeup collection video when I just had this much. I'll link all my makeup collections down below. I have a whole playlist in case you want to see kind of what I've added or subtracted or whatever. But this is where I started at. It's really nice. It's very easy to use. It's by Sterilite. It moves really well. You can see that they're semi-transparent fronts. And I got this at Target. So, these drawers do come all the way out, and as you can see, this is my cream eyeshadow and then eyeshadow bases. So right there in the back, I have my eyeshadow bases. Those are the ones that are, you know, clear or transparent or whatever, that don't give you any color, and they just kind of help stick your eyeshadow on. So I actually have 7 of those. And then the rest of these are my eyeshadow, cream eyeshadows. If I have a double-ended stick, I have a couple of those by Covergirl and Revlon. These do count as 2 separate entities, just so y'all know. Same with these Revlon ones. But I have quite a few, just all different brands. I don't want to be super redundant. I know you can see, so I don't want to be like, and this is from NYX, and this is from Cella, and this is from LOC. So just kind of look. Again, if you have any questions about anything, go ahead and ask. I have this little brush. It came in a palette, and it just lives there. And then the next drawer is actually my mascara drawer. So this is like eyebrow little products, so my tweezers and things like that if I want to do some eyebrow grooming. Not to be obnoxious, but my eyebrows are generally pretty good, so that just kind of lives there. And then I have my lash glue. It works really well. I really enjoyed it. I've only used it once. It's Duo. Sorry, my nails aren't done. But I don't wear lashes on a regular basis. I wore them for Halloween, so I just keep it there in case I need it. But it works well. And then these are the 4 mascaras I actually have open. I usually have a bunch open, so I try to kind of limit that as much as possible. And then you can see in the back, there are quite a few other mascaras. Some are full size, some are minis. A lot of them I've gotten for free as like in a kit or as a sample, or in influencer and things like that. So those are all of my mascaras, and I actually have 20 mascaras. And then let's go ahead to this bottom drawer. So you'll see throughout my collection I have these boxes. These are actually Birch boxes, and I kind of use them to section off things. So this is in the wrong spot. So what this is this is my colorful eyeliner, like pencil eyeliners, and this is my brown and blacks. I do have more colored again. You can see they're right there. So these are my colored eyeliners. So again, I just have a bunch of different brands. I like to, as much as possible, lay things out so I can really see what I have. I feel like when you stack things up too much, you don't know what you have, and then you don't really get full use out of them, which is another reason why I do that monthly makeup bag. So this is my colored eyeliners, and then my black and brown. Again, these are a little more stacked, but they're black and brown. I know what all is here. You know, I'm either going to reach for a black one or a brown one if I'm going over here. So for pencil eyeliners, I actually own 46. And then in the back of this drawer, I have my liquid and gel eyeliners. So I have all of my black ones sit right here, and then I have this one gel from the line that I actually really liked. And then I have some colored liquid liners as well. So I do have this separate from my pencils because they definitely serve a different function and a whole different look. But I still have them separated color and neutral just because it's easier when you're looking. You'll notice throughout my collection, I don't separate things by brand because very rarely am I like, I want to look for something Covergirl. I'm more like, I'm feeling silver eyeshadow or eyeliner. Let me look there. You see what I'm saying? How that's different. So that's just for me. I just separate them based on what the type and the color and things like that. So for liquid/gel eyeliners, I have 14. Alright, so that concludes, let me back up a bit, the top of my vanity. It's super functional. I don't even think I said this. This is an Alex 6 drawer from Ikea. I like the 6 better than 9 because they're wider. But that's just my preference. They come in black and white, and then you can like decorate them in color. There's a bunch of videos about that if you're interested. They're super helpful. The only negative I have is that they don't go out all the way. So you can see, I can't pull it out anymore. But you'll see there's actually quite a bit of space. Probably about a 1/5 of the drawer is actually not being able to be seen, which can get kind of agitating, but I still really like it. And it's kind of the very stereotypical, this is what people on YouTube have. And there's a reason. So, as you can see, my first drawer is a bunch of base products. So just an overview. So in the back, we have some primers. Again, they're not all right there. There's some up on top. So if you're like, so I have 4 primers. I realize there's only 2 there. There are more. And I tried to collect everything when I did my count. I wanted to be as inclusive as possible. So I just have some primers. I like a pore filling one for my T-zone and then a hydrating one for the rest of my face if possible.
If you're wondering, that's just a washcloth. I actually use it to wipe my brushes off as I'm doing my makeup to try to, you know, keep them cleaner and not have as much product transfer. So that's just what that is. You know, once it starts getting a little grimy, I just switch it out. It's super easy. And then I also have one setting spray, the Urban Decay All Nighter. It's the only one I have. I really love it. But then over here, you'll see are my foundations. There's a whole mix. You'll probably see throughout my collection, there's, I think, a pretty good mix of drugstore and high-end. I buy both. I do find that there are definitely some products that high-end are much better, and some that it doesn't really matter. Foundation is one that I've found a lot more luck with high-end. If you have a drugstore foundation you love, let me know. I do really like this Color Stay Whipped and this L'Oreal Magic Nude. Those two are really great. This is a Clinique Chubby Stick, so it is higher end, but it's not terribly expensive. So it's like $20, I want to say. So it's higher end, but it's not like these Becca one. This is an Hourglass one that's like over 50 or like over 40. I got that as a sample in my Ipsy, or like as a point perk. So these are my straight up foundations, and I own 18 of those. And then back here, you'll see my BB creams. Again, I use these Birchboxes to kind of separate out my stuff. And I have 3 BB creams. That Dr. Jart, this one, is one of my all-time favorite base products. I think it's great. It's a little more expensive, but it's really good. I do also really enjoy the Garnier BB cream and this Pond's one. So I like all the BB creams I own. For a while, I was kind of anti-BB cream. So in this Birchbox is my highlighters. So you can see I have some potted ones, some stick ones, some kind of doe foot ones. These are the little highlightery sticky ones, you know, like you twist them up. So I just kind of keep them all together. I've got one green highlighter. The rest are just like skin tone-ish. So they're just kind of a nice variety. And I actually own 11 concealers. And then we'll move over here to my powder. I have powder foundations, translucent powders, and then just kind of colored. This one's a brightening one. So I kind of just have it all together, whatever it fits the nicest. But here are my powders. There are definitely some. I reviewed that one and that one, I know. This is the Revlon. Both of the Revlon ones I've reviewed. So like I said, there will be reviews throughout. But I actually own 13 powders. And I'm sure it's getting slightly annoying that I keep saying, and I actually own. So I'll try to stop that. It's just kind of what happened. So that's my first drawer. My second drawer is my cheek drawer. Rather extensive. So you can see I have blushes, bronzers, and highlights kind of in that order. I try to keep it that way as much as I possibly can. And again, there are some in the back. I try to keep them up close and showing as much as possible. So like this Benefit Cheekathon palette, which is right here. I don't have it in the very back because I don't like it. I have it because it's longer, so you can try to, like, even when it's open, you can still see it, if that makes sense. So don't think if something's in the back, I don't like it, because that's definitely not necessarily the case. And I do count each individual powder. So, like, if this, like, these 4 right here are blush palettes. So I count each individual powder in there as a blush. I also went through my face palette, or through my other palettes that I'll show y'all later in a few drawers. And with some of those, they have blushes and stuff in it, and I did count those as well in my count. And so with that, I actually have 55 blushes. And like things like this, which is a highlighter, blush, and bronzer, I counted 1 of each. So that's how many blushes. It's quite extensive. Then I wanted to show y'all, I do like to keep things on their side because it does save a lot of room. But I like to keep it if you can see, so you can tell what color this is. This is labeled on its side. These mineral powders you can see through. This Laura Geller powder, if it's up on its side, you don't know. Now, I only own 1 Laura Geller powder, but still, you don't know. So I do like to try to, again, just keep things as open and unstacked and visible as possible. Obviously, there is some stacking, but you can still, for the most part, see everything, which is the goal. Sorry, that's my boyfriend. And then we're going to scooch on over. We have some bronzers. Again, there are some palettes, some things. I count this as a blush. It's kind of a blush bronzer. I don't know. It's kind of a bunch of things. There is definitely some overlap. I did not just
discriminate between, or distinguish, excuse me, between powder and then like sticks or creams. So it's just kind of all together. So for bronzers, I have 23. And then over here for highlighters, I definitely have a lot more highlighters in kits or in like palettes and stuff. But those are my highlighters, and I own 24 of those. So that's my cheek drawer, which I know is a lot of people's favorites, which is fine. But for me, eyeshadow is where my heart is. So this is my eyeshadow drawer that contains my pigments, my singles, and then my quads are below, and my eyebrow products. So eyebrow products live over here. I have a powder, some pencils. This eyeshadow, I count it as an eyeshadow, but I do use it as an eyebrow sometimes. So for eyebrow products, let me flip over my thing, sorry. I have 4. And then let me go right here. Again, like I said, I don't like to stack. I like to keep things as up close, but as visible as possible. So with a lot of these pigments, you can see they're on their side because you can actually see that's the gray one, that's the white one, that one's white, that one's green, that one's blue. You can see their colors. So it makes it much easier, and they are rainbow, starting with brown, Roy G. Biv order. So you can really see their colors. So that's very helpful to me. And then obviously I have my MAC pigment set that I got this Christmas. But for pigments, I own 18. And then you can see around here, I have a lot of single shadows. I do not have a ton of singles, but I have kind of what I need. Again, there are some more up here in this container, just a reminder. But I have quite, I have a lot of cool ones that I really enjoy. I get a lot of these in subscription services. These H&M ones, my boyfriend got me because he loves me. So, I just kind of accumulate them. I'm definitely not opposed to single shadows. I do try to get some use out of them. But I do, like most people, reach for my palettes more. But I like them. So for single shadows, I have 34. So then what I actually did, because where do you count a quad, a palette? Where do you make that distinguishing mark? So what I've done since I started doing these is I have a palette section, and really that just means if there's more than 2 eyeshadows. So like, this is a duo. It counts as a palette. This is a trio. This is a quad. So I counted how many actual, containers, this is one palette. How many containers I had, but then also how many individual shadows. So this is one palette that contains 2 shadows. This is one palette that contains 4 shadows. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to give you all a brief overview of what I have. Again, if you have any questions, you want to see a review of anything, I'll be happy to. I know I reviewed my Tarina Tarantino shadows. I reviewed that MAC pigment set. I've reviewed some of these things, these Sonia Kashuk quads. But as far as palettes, I own 78 palettes, and that makes up 787 shadows. So obviously they're not all in here, and we'll go to the next couple of drawers and we'll show you that. So for right here, let's just go to the first thing. These are my palettes that are on their side. I know what all of these are without looking at them because they are distinct. Now, I do have this specific one that's just white and this BH Cosmetic one that's also just white, but they're very different in person, and I know that that's all I have. So I've got a Buxom one. This is Too Faced. That's Stila. This is my Mia palette. This is by Kat Von D, Cynthia Rowley, and then my Lorac Pro and Pro 2. So I do have these stacked up on the side just because I can. And it does help with space because, as you can see, as I pan around the rest of this drawer, it's kind of cramped. So what I have in here, for the most part, there is, it's kind of hard to define. But this drawer contains my neutral and smoky-ish palettes. So, this is all pink. It's not necessarily neutral, but it's not like a rainbow palette. Same with Galaxy Chic. So there are definitely some colors in here. The Smashbox one has, 32 shadows, and then a blush, a contour, or 3 blushes, a contour, a highlight, a bronzer. It's got everything, so it's kind of both, but it's more neutral than my next drawer, so I kind of tried to keep it separated like that. Again, I've already counted these. These were all kind of considered palettes and those individual shadow counts.
And then for the next palette drawer, because I do have two, because again, eyeshadow is where my heart lies. This is my super colorful rainbow drawer. So this is a lot more stuffed, unfortunately. It's a little bit hard to see that Vice 4, but I know I have it. It gets slightly covered up by this Minnie Mouse palette. But these are my super bright, not very neutral at all palettes. There's a lot in here. I love colorful makeup. If you watch me, then you probably know that. On Instagram, I try to post my makeup every day, so you can definitely see that I wear a lot of color. Today was pretty neutral for me. It was kind of purpley. But that's what I like, and I'm really attracted to these colorful eyeshadows. A lot of these I have done reviews on. My Makeup Forever, that Kat Von D palette, this Spectrum palette, that palette, both of those palettes, the Ammo palette, this palette, almost all of them, like I said, I had done reviews on, so if you're interested in seeing that, check out that playlist. But these are my colorful eyeshadows. So these are my babies. These three drawers are my favorite. And then let's just go on to the very bottom. So again, like I've said many times, I really try to utilize my Birchboxes to separate everything out. And I don't separate things out by brand. Instead, I do it based on color, because I think that makes more sense to me. So these are all my lippies. So I have lipsticks, lip crowns, liquid lipsticks, lip gloss, all grouped together, but they're distinguished by colors. So this first drawer is kind of my lip treatment, so like chapsticks and stuff. And of those, I have 12. It also includes like plumpers, which kind of with treatments. I have some clear glosses in there, and then I have these this lipstick like sampler thing. And I have my lip liners in there under that sampler, if you want to see. My lip liners, things like that. So that's kind of my like miscellaneous drawer. So I do have 5 lip liners. And like I said, 12 bases. And then you can see it's kind of separated out. So I have my hot pinks. And again, that's lipsticks and lip glosses. My reds, my kind of berry tones, my berry / really deep nudes, my purples, which is one of my favorites, my nudes, my oranges, and my light pinks. This lip gloss belongs in there. So you can see it is separated out. It's very easy for me to know what is where. Sometimes light pinks and nudes, you know, this could be some overlap, this could be some overlap. It really just depends. I just kind of make a judgment call. But I own 112 lipsticks and 51 lip glosses. So there's a lot of lip product in here. So that's all for my collection. I also counted my perfumes. You've seen I have a bunch up here. And then my perfumes actually sit in this closet. This is one of my shoe closets. I have 2. Don't judge me. And so I have my body sprays, and then some perfumes, and then like all my samples, which I did count all of my samples. But for body sprays, I had 11, and I had 31 perfumes. And then the only other thing that I counted is my nail polish. If you want to see a full nail polish collection, I can do that. But they're on these racks. So there's one rack. Sorry, I have lots of doors in here. And here's the second rack. They are, again, in rainbow order. So, this is my makeup collection. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I surely enjoyed making it. Let me know, again, if you want to see anything. This is what I have. I try to keep these videos relatively up to date, about every year. So you can know, oh, does she have that? No, she doesn't. She needs to get this. Let me know that. Or, girl, I need to know how you feel about this. So, you know, this is what I have. This is where I get ready every morning. It's my little sanctuary that also happens to be right beside my desk where I do a lot of work. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye!